fine good morning to you from Baden, Switzerland. Semifinals, the Baden Masters, and we've got a Norway duel here. Team Olsrud, Team Valstedt, and Team Olsrud playing Harvard Fat Pedersen, Christopher Sva, Torger Nergard, Thomas Olsrud, and Team Valstedt, Magnus Bakberg, Magnus Nerdregatten, Marcus Heuberg, and Stefan Valstad at skip. And these two teams, of course, know each other quite well, and we see how they got here. Olsrud defeated the hometown Team Schwaller 6-5 in the quarterfinals. Valstad easily handling Christian Lindström from Sweden, 9-2. And in the other semi-final, Edin de Cruz, we saw that last night, great game. Edin now playing against Pfister, who defeated Attinger 6-4 in the other quarterfinal. My name is Armin Harder. This is curling CCT World Curling Tour coverage of the Baden Masters. And you see the ice temperature -5 degrees. Looks pretty good. The weather is also improving outside. Sunday morning here, and this morning I'm going to be accompanied by Sherry Leibrandt, coach of the Dutch men's team. Sherry, good morning. Thanks for getting up and joining me in the commentary booth.
It's great to be here. Also back here. Sorry.
You can start again.
Here I am. It's great to be here joining you on this it's a great day. A nice sunshine outside this morning.
Yeah, I'm surprised you showed up because I saw that sun coming out. Oh, Sherry's not coming.
No, commitment is commitment. Here I am. Always exciting to watch a good curling game.
I had all the faith in the world that you were going to show up.
So I think we're destined for a really great competition here out on the ice, both sheets. We're going to focus on the Norway game. Quite a significant game for these two teams. The Olympic team is not yet selected. I understand that'll be chosen within the next 15-20 days.
Yeah, and Valstad had Olsrud's number last year, so it'll be interesting to see how these teams, this probably their first matchup this season. So
also good compliments to Team Olsrud. They've also invested in the development of this younger team that's come up through the ranks, taking each of them. I think each of the players on the Valstead team have participated with different events, as well as their coach at World Championships, Olympic Games. Also investing in their development, knowing that competition is important. That's really exciting to see in a country with not a lot of curlers, helping each other grow.
Thomas Lovold here is the coach of the Valstad team, and Thomas also a pretty good player in his own right.
He has also been a member of Olsrud's team, often at championships. But things are a little more serious. Olympic representation is on the line this season, so although these teams are friendly, they are going to be competitive with each other, and they'll be both looking forward to put their best performances on the ice. So,
Valstad defeated Olsrud last year to go to the World Championships, to represent Norway at the World Championships, and Valstad last year also winning a number of tournaments and really have moved up in the world ranking.
Yep.
So Norway doing quite well for a small country with two teams.
Some good juniors coming up as well. Few good teams in the junior tour.
You would know the junior tour. You would know them quite well. You run the junior program, which has now gone from European Junior Curling Tour to World Junior Curling Tour.
Yeah.
We've expanded quite a bit with World Curling Tour and CCT merging this past summer.
Yeah, I think it's going to create some really great opportunities for the future. At the moment, it's kind of go with the way it is for now, and then sort things out over the next year.
There's a lot of work ahead of us, that's for sure.
But it is exciting for curling and exciting for international sport for sure.
How about Bart Pedersen throwing his first rock? Trying to come around that close corner guard or center guard up front. That looks very nice.
It's in a great start. First guard up. These teams are going for it right off the bat here. They've got familiar with the ice all week. They've had some good games. The ice has been pretty consistent.
Magnus Blackberg.
He's a new member of this team this year. They changed their lead. Looking for a more powerful chemistry or obligations with school and work commitments.
Well, if he throws like this, the keeper. Couple of good rocks. Might have wanted that just a slight bit shorter. Would have preferred it in front of that yellow rock, but it's not in a bad spot.
It's definitely a good start for a first end.
Yeah.
Both teams searching out what the weights are, what the lines are, and
This might be a little bit different this morning. There's only 2 sheets going, and it's a morning draw. So. And it's getting warmer out there again. Happy about that. We usually complain about being too hot at the Baden Masters. This weekend was quite acceptable.
and another nice little roll in to tuck in behind that center guard. So the objective here for Team Ulsrud is to control the... try and get some things out the center, out of the center into the sides, but they're taking advantage of that first guard that was put up. They're already second stones, and they're already getting the opponent to move off the middle, maybe give them their corner.
Ulsrud playing yellow rocks and having the hammer. Well, straight run back, I think. Just missed the double.
Not such a bad outcome. Still keeps the center plugged up, which is maybe more ideal. They'd like to control that zone. They're in quite a nice position here.
We saw some great run backs from both teams last night. De Cruz and Baden going at it. It was quite entertaining. Now, those of you that missed that game can just go to our YouTube channel, Curling Champions Tour, and you can see all the games if you missed any.
Full 12 holder.
They've been archived there.
It's been a great development for the Curling Champions Tour, or World Curling Tour now, is having the live feeds and the games that you can go back and watch. Great learning tool, but also a great opportunity for sponsors to see themselves back on online and their teams being represented.
Streaming into Norway this morning, so welcome all our Norwegian viewers. They wanted some Norwegian content. They certainly have it this morning.
Yeah.
And obviously, the positive for the Norwegians is they will have a team in the final.
And Thomas played the final here last year against De Cruz.
Right. And the year before, Baden won it. So, and then Ulsrud won it 3 years ago, I believe. So, 2 of the last 3-year champions
Are on the ice this morning.
On the ice this morning.
And come around here. Looks like a really nice shot coming in. Got the weight right. They'll just finish that off and bring it right up in on top. Getting themselves lined up for Yeah, forcing one or potentially getting a run back here.
Ganske tynn for å bli liggende.
Somebody's caught on camera. Wave to the fans.
Tredjedels treff. Det er fortere å skli ut hit da. Legge igjen nå, men nesten prøve kanskje.
Get up early on a Sunday morning to watch these two teams play. Of course, you have Edin and Pfister on the other sheet, so also a good game going on there.
Yeah, there's been a lot of fans here all weekend in supporting the teams and cheering along the games. It's always something really nice about Baden Masters is the amount of locals that come out and watch the games. And the old timers that used to play this game and got the game going here still out supporting the curling and enjoying it every day. It's a really exciting club to be in.
Old timers like me.
Yeah, you and me both. Yep.
I could try an angle takeout here with these Red Rocks. Christopher Saw.
Teams been together for a long time. Didn't quite get the angle they wanted there, but they did keep the rock up on top. That's important.
Good positioning on that rock. Yeah. Wallstadt last year made a massive move. I don't know where he was. It was about 60th or 70th on the ranking. He's moved up into 18th, up in the top 20.
Yeah.
It's quite the jump, and he's moving in on Olsrud, ranked 11th at the moment in the world ranking.
After this weekend, both teams are heading over to Canada to participate in the Slam, Tier 1 and Tier 2. Along with Nicholas Edin, Peter de Cruz. It's busy time this season.
Yeah. And it's an Olympic season, so it's always a special one.
Yep.
Mark Swyberg. Play a nice little tap back here. Who's that yellow one that was set up by the last stone from Christian Sauvé?
Nicely picked out. Still need to get at some point. We'll need to get at that shot rock in the 4-foot. Olsrud having the last rock, playing yellow. Torgren Ergaard.
Hvor lavt til egentlig treffe det du ser.
Jeg ser mer enn hele.
Tror det litt køll der, men ikke veldig mye på en åtter.
Trying to just hit this on the nose and double them out. End up with two yellow rocks sitting there. You can pick them cleanly. Trying to keep it straight. Oh.
Came out with a little bit of a wobble, got a little bit offline and over curled.
Yeah, they jumped it right away, but didn't manage to hold it, so took out the guard.
This hasn't been very forgiving on releases here. If you get him set in a little bit, they go a little hard.
Og små være på den siden for å få gul da.
Ganske mye ser ut som herifra, men
looks like a pretty clean end over there on sheet 2.
Første tanken min egentlig, men
Edin will blank that.
Herifra ser ut som ikke
heading into end 2 with a score of 0-0 between Pfister and Edin. Keeping the play nice and simple over there, getting used to the ice conditions for this morning. Maybe a little more nerves on that game. Teams don't know each other quite as much as the two Norwegian teams.
Så hvis vi liksom klarer å tappe den dit,
og rulle litt ut ned.
Pfister.
Kanskje line opp shooteren og den her.
The only non-Scandinavian team on the ice this morning.
Ja, da kan jeg få rulle inn her, men da er det en røndobbel for sitt 2. Eventuelt. Prøv det på næsen.
Sikkert på kjepp, ja, så får vi
på næsen med sånn T-line bak 4-fart.
The quarterfinals yesterday, notice we had Norway, 8 teams, Norway, Sweden and Switzerland represented. No other countries. Shows you the strength of
those groups. Yeah.
Of course, we're missing the Scottish teams this year. They're playing in the Ottawa or the Oakville Stucelles. This event is a week later this year. We'll probably go back a week earlier next year again. Had to move it this year because of a big event in Baden.
Forsiktig! Er vi?
Yeah, there's quite a clump of events in Canada in the next few weeks.
Yep, yep.
This team's unfortunately having to choose which ones they go to.
That's good. It allows room for younger teams to come up, or
Absolutely.
developing teams to play. We saw a couple of teams here that normally wouldn't be at a Masters. And we covered one of those games yesterday. We had Latvia against Spain, a little bit of an exotic match for curling standards.
Yeah, and a great opportunity for those countries to watch curling at this level and participate with teams on the ice. It's been, I know, for us, also still in developing stage from the Netherlands, playing in these events has given us a lot of opportunity to get a better game, recognize what we need to train.
And they're steadily moving up. I mean, it's nice to see these countries coming up and qualifying out of challenger events and moving into the Masters Series, and watching your team develop on the tour. Obviously, it's been a joy. Very young team. One of the fellows just turned 19 yesterday, and he seems like he's been around for years.
Yeah, still one of the youngest teams out there, and they've been there for a while. So
they got a great future ahead of them. And you're playing in Pilsen, right?
Yeah, we'll be playing the Olympic trials.
So that's
we still have a possibility for one of those last two Olympic spots.
Qualifying for the Olympics in curling is really tough for those that don't quite know the system.
To get into the opportunity to actually make that qualification spot is quite phenomenal for such a small country.
It's probably tougher than most sports to get into an Olympic spot.
And it is a little misunderstood from a lot of smaller curling countries. They think, that's easy. Let's go. It's not got to be the easiest
well, it's not like
opportunity.
Skiing where you just or some of these bigger sports where they have far more countries registering. There's only 10 teams, 10 countries allowed, and that qualification process goes over 2-3 years. So just to make it direct is tough going.
Yeah, I mean, you look at most of the top teams, the teams out here, how long they've been curling together. I think Thomas and Toger for 30 years or so.
Yes.
Hard.
Since they were 10. Looking like a blank end here.
Well, they set themselves up early for those nice runbacks, and you get a half shot or a miss, then you get the potential to, maybe make your extra points. But both teams playing pretty sharp out here this morning.
I'm a little confused. That hammer may be in the wrong spot. I guess start counting rocks here. 5, 6, 7. Wallstad has last rock. There's a hammer. Oh, Thomas is going to make this double. Hammer's on the wrong side here.
So that would go back to explain why he wanted to do the hit and roll for the corner guards.
Yeah, well, this is Holsrud's last rock, and Wallstad has the hammer. That hammer's in the wrong position, both on the back scoreboard and on our graphic.
There's still a yellow stone there.
Don't see the yellow rock.
I think it's okay. Oh, maybe not.
Unless somebody stole it, and there's no yellow rock back there.
We'll have to wait and see what happens here. We can't see a Yellowstone back here at the back.
It might be hidden behind the
sign.
The sign. So yeah. There seems to be a shadow over there. I can't see it from here.
We will find out soon.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, yellow has a. It's correct. There's only 7 yellow ones back there, so it must be hidden somewhere here. Oh, there it is, right there. See, we can't see that from our position. It's moved up ahead a bit.
Thank you for the cameraman.
Yep. So disregard the last 5-minute conversation.
It's early morning. We got to wake up a little here too.
You can't go hiding rocks on us like that. It's not allowed. So just trying to split the rings here and force Thomas into taking one.
And he's done a nice job of it. That'd be a pretty tough double to play. Thomas is going to probably just hit that on those. He might.
I'm not sure. He looks like he might be trying
to peel it.
Yeah.
The objective when you have the hammer is you just want to score 2. Having getting forced into 1 is the objective of your opponent. They want to force you to only get 1 point, so when they have the hammer, they get to score 2.
See Thomas checking out that angle. Thrown board weight, so. I think there's 2 options here. If he's coming well, the sweepers will sweep it for the double, and if he's on the rock, he'll take the 1 point.
Yeah. They have a nice new version of their pants out there.
Yeah.
Norway flags are off, and sponsors are on. Their great sponsors is Voss Water.
Yeah, goes for the straight hit. And 1 for Ulsrud here in the first end.
First score on the board.
Baden Masters CCT World Curling Tour coverage continues, and we'll be back in a minute.
And we're back on N2. Ulsrud versus Wallstad. Ulsrud forced to score 1 in the first end with the hammer. So N2, Wallstad will have the last tone advantage. Thomas gonna challenge him right away. Put up that tight center guard. So it's going to throw up a corner. Try and take the play away from the center line. Really great placement. Right where he had his brooms placed for it. Teams communicate up and down the sheet where they want that rock stone to be placed, and sweepers give her the information on the weight, and the person holding the broom determines the line. Our Norwegian fans can follow the conversation. My Norwegian's not so great this morning, but I think they were saying it's pretty good and it's there.
Only this morning. That's not my Norwegian's not so good this morning.
Any
either.
morning?
Maybe this afternoon would be better.
You've been watching a lot of these games for a long time.
Yeah,
You should be picking some of this up.
I should be fluent in all these languages. Well, you do pick up some of the words.
Yeah, a lot of countries use some English. Some countries more than others.
Or
but
you know what good means, or what yes means in Russian, or good in Swedish, or bra, or da. Or this is looking very nice. So that new Norwegian lead on the Wallstad team. Pretty consistent so far in the first 2 ends with his weight.
he seems to fit in really well early season with this team. I think they know each other for a long time. They've all grown up and playing each other with juniors and men's, and it's a small curling community in Norway. About 600 curlers there.
I think it's growing fairly rapidly. They've built a number of clubs over the last few years, so they've got some great facilities. The new facilities have gone up in the last few years, so I imagine those numbers are a lot higher.
Increasing quickly.
Yeah. And as curling appeal grows around the world, I'm sure that'll continue.
They've struggled to put some girls' teams together in the last few years. A lot of countries having similar problems. Great to see some growth in women's curling. So if you're out there watching and want to get into curling, contact the club. Lots of opportunities. And it's a really amazing sport.
Tolv!
Ren. Den er bra. Wow. Ren. Yep. Wow.
Really good communication here, trying to get the right angles on these stones.
Cleanly picked out. Didn't move anything in the back. So almost a similar situation than last end, only this time Olsrud is trying to steal, and not without the hammer.
He's recognized the threat, talking about whether he's going to start running these back, moving some stones out of play.
Er det ikke krise å få det opp på nesa, eller er det?
Jeg vil gjerne sitte nå. Nei. Har du spillet pil?
So a little bit of a team decision here. Timing at the
Jeg
end.
kan godt tenke meg å sitte med den her, altså.
Er det noe slag der for de nå?
Yeah, we mentioned this Ulster team has been together a long time, so they know what each other's skills are and what they like, and when they have input, there's usually a reason for it.
Det er ikke noe dårlig kold det, hvis du kommer dit. Tror det så?
Klarer å komme helt på nesen der, så ser det ganske bra ut.
Prøv det, du.
Okay, they've decided not to peel. They're going to play it in here.
Ja, samme. Eller du hadde der. Noe sånt da.
Okay. Clarification on the ice. They're happy. They're going to play it. Once a decision is made, it's all about executing the shot that's decided to be played by the skip, and everybody's committed. It's a really good exchange of communication.
Yep. Opp til nese, opp til nese. Ok.
Spiller mange 4.
Vent da litt, så.
Fort gjort at den ryker hitår da, men den her burde sitte igjen her.
Så går det på innsida.
Så bare å åpne opp midten.
Ok. Den på skjeppet på innsida på gula da. Ble det bra, eller?
So curling is some of the strategy. If you're, whether you're an experienced curler or a new curler, you're trying to figure out what the heck are they doing? Why isn't so? There's a rock on the middle of the white there. That should be all that matters. Sometimes it
Ser
doesn't
du
make
hela?
any difference what's sitting in play at the moment. It's about how you build it up.
I think there's opportunity to come down, hit the yellow one just on the inside,
Yeah.
drive the two reds back onto the yellow in the forefoot. At some point here, Wallstadt needs to move that rock off the forefoot. I think it's there if they just get on the inside of that yellow, or just even the nose hit on the yellow would do the trick. Don't need to throw it too hard. Just need to move that rock off the forefoot. And right there where
Nei, mindre imellom, men.
just hit it right there. Drive it back. Got to get that rock off the forefoot. It's covered right now.
Yeah, it's getting a little bit late in the end.
Det er godt å åpne opp senter for min del, ass.
Both teams are evaluating the risk reward. Thomas had an opportunity to apply a little more pressure and make Wellstead work a little harder, and that's obviously worked. Of course, if when you make those decisions, you have to have the execution to match, so your team has to be on the same page.
70 veldig bra. 60-70.
This game as young curlers that you have to work to develop. And you can't buy that type of information. You gotta learn it.
Yeah, they're going for the longer guard.
Yep.
I might have tried it the other way, but I'm not sure. They won't get the rock off the forefoot by moving this, or shouldn't.
Maybe seeing this as a threat for the scoring of multiple points. Pretty much have to pick something at the back here.
Oh, they did get it.
Got a nice shot.
Although they
They
lost one of their
both,
rocks,
yeah.
which they wouldn't have done going the other way.
Yeah. I think you're right there, Armin.
Bra det.
That's just a straight raise back.
Jeg tror den blir ikke bitende da, men den tror jeg er guffen. Vanlig take.
I'm concerned that yellow rock is gonna, once it hits that red one, it's probably gonna move over to the left, and then they'll have a hit. Wallstadt will have a hit and roll opportunity behind the guard.
Yeah. I'm gonna play it with a little bit lighter weight. A little bit of roll on with this one. Rolling on their shooter will be key. And it doesn't roll on, but he also doesn't roll too far over, so he just still loves the hit and roll. He keeps himself a stone at the front to play with.
Yeah.
I have to roll about 4 feet or just over a meter.
Over on sheet 2, Nicholas Dean has scored 2 with the hammer in N2.
That was a quick end.
Ikke rør.
Yep.
Rent.
Whoa.
Yep. Wow.
And they're going for a roll the other way.
Bra det.
That's out in the open. Now Thomas is going to be able to get a, Holster will get a opportunity for hit and roll behind that one that they had left up there from Nergard's stone. Be a little disappointed with that of a roll.
Rent. Hardt rent. Hardt rent. Yep. Hardt va. Hardt. Whoa. Helt vekk.
Just going to hit on the nose. You'll see these teams aren't playing just bang hard hit weights. They're playing with a lot of finesse weights. Nice control. Objective is you want to keep your shooters.
Wallstadt just ignoring that rock on the 12-foot. That's really not bothering him. If he can draw one in behind the guard, get into the 8-foot, he'll be counting and be behind cover. Trying to score his 2. Marcus Højberg. Big shot here for him. And we'll score 2.
Get the weight in the line here, it'll be ideal.
It's got a long way to curl. Starting to make a move now.
Does come late over that hog line.
It's looking like a fine shot.
We have about a half a stone open.
I think that's pretty good behind cover.
40.
You can get at it though, I think. With the quiet weight, yeah. You see about a third of it.
Det kan være sånn at det køler litt, og så står det litt.
Ja, men tror du noe sånt nå, hva? Der og vann? Ja, der og vann.
We needed
Der og
to,
hakk.
needed to go about another foot, eh?
Alle der og
Ja.
samme litt tilbake.
Fordelen med å bli liggende er at
Ja, hakk der da. Tror det, altså. Eller holde den, altså.
Yeah. Carefully pick their weight here. It does break quite hard after the center line, after the hog line there, so have to get the communication right on this one.
Prøvde
can
å
hit
lære
and
meg ut
stay.
av dragningen. Det var ikke sykt finisher. Jeg tenkte å prøve å spille liksom solid hack da. For det er jo, hvis vi først går etter den, så hvis vi blir liggende, så er det jo i hvert fall ja. Ja. Ja da. Det er litt på. Ok.
Thomas Ulsrud. Probably one of the oldest in the competition here this week. Probably one of the fittest.
Yeah, I was going to say. Spends a lot of time in the gym.
Vent!
Ja, ja,
Jepp!
ja.
Wow! Wow!
Ja.
Håvard! Håvard! Håvard, rulle!
No, there's a nice shot.
gonna get a nice roll across.
Litt til, litt til!
I don't want to sweep it too far. I'm going to roll behind the tee line,
Give
behind the guard.
He doesn't want to leave a freeze there, that's for sure. This gives Wallstead a bit of an opportunity to come up and just tap on that one.
Problem is, it will be open, but he does have to
Den ligger midt på
make a
T-line.
play at it.
Lykke med Alstein. Den ligger midt på T-line.
Bare dytt oss ned kvart stein, så er det slått. Hvis du skal sitte rett foran, så blæser han, og så kanskje står det blankt. Nei, rett foran, rett på nasen.
Right now, it's looking very much like a force of one for Wallstedt.
Plass.
Skip stones here.
Er det køle?
Masse plass, masse
Gå da.
plass. Vente på kurve. Vente på kurve.
Helt vekk. Helt vekk. Helt vekk, helt vekk, helt vekk.
So
we
the
can just do it a
sweepers
little
are
bit
standing
warm.
away from this. That's an indication it's
Japp,
probably
japp.
long.
Ok.
Now it's curling.
Really great T-line weight, but
Nice.
you don't throw it to the sweepers a little bit here. It runs and you don't get much back.
Så hvis du får en liten rull hit, så er jo ikke
It misses those break points, and
Du må rulle et stykke, da. Hvis du ruller bare hit, så blir det nesten bare lettere for den.
it's a bit of a missed
Det beste er å
opportunity.
rulle akkurat dit.
Well, Thomas still has to play on it.
Da
Well, he's looking at what position to leave this to make it difficult.
Ja,
For
men jeg
Wallstedt.
tenkte på så er det jævlig dumt hvis den henger også, så toucher du der og spiller der. Så det er jævlig, det er nesten så det er fristende.
Just off the center, leaving it to the left, he might
Der og 15, altså. Så er det litt bra.
be a difficult shot for
prøver du
Wallstedt
den
to
der,
get
da,
out.
den lille floppen.
Ja, risken er for at det henger og at det blir satt.
Even
can
half
throw
a
that.
rock, half a stone on top would be
Det blir 15, men jeg
ideal.
kommer ikke til å se
I
en
think it
dritt
rolls
der
over
før.
to the top of that yellow.
Litt grann på slutten, tror jeg, altså.
There's a double that way.
Ja, kjapt. Vi ser.
Nose hit and just to the left, I think would be probably best shot.
Ja, midt på veggen. Jeg har tenkt å prøve å spille boards, og du ser jo linja over, men jeg tror det som er dumt også, da, hvis vi treffer vi halv, ja, men treffer vi halv på høy. Ja, jeg også. Det er mye is. Ja. Jeg vet det. Ja. Ikke gå hardt her over. Her går det rett, tror jeg. Altså. Ja. Nei. Ja. Sitter den vant.
So again, a good information exchange. Clear objective of the stone. What they want to happen.
Bra linjer.
Wow!
Wow, litt vide. En.
Ren. Ja, ja. Oh,
Wow!
ja, ja.
Nei!
Oh,
Wow!
vann med, vann med. Oh, oh, litt til. Kostan har fått liten ultra.
I think that's a pretty good
Nice shot.
spot, actually.
Yeah. You can't hit it
Little-
on the
little
nose
bit,
and get
little bit more
shot.
to the left would have been better.
Sats på rull dit.
It's not an easy shot. He's got to keep his shooter in play. Got to double these out and keep his shooter.
Vanlig med sånn 75-80.
75 tror jeg er bra. 80 egentlig.
Jeg bør, ja. Så lenge han spiker den, så burde
Toger was looking for that little bit of a left, and Thomas wanted it on the nose, I think. Sometimes it's hard to see the line between your sweepers and where you want it.
It's a pretty good spot. You see, obviously, Wallstad not that comfortable with it. Looking at it. He doesn't need to throw hard at it, just needs to move those out of the forefoot to make sure his shooter doesn't roll too far.
Doesn't
Really
have much
taking
ice
tight
here,
ice on that, so he's throwing some weight at it.
which is a greater risk. You're going to lose your shooter as well.
And not be throwing that hard.
Vær nære på kosting her, for den står i utgangspunktet rett.
This is maybe where experience comes in, hey?
We'll see what the result is.
Rent.
Rent! Ja!
Wow.
It's controlled weight.
Wow, helt vekk.
Wow!
Just a little too heavy, I would think. Unfortunately for Wallstad, it rolls out and Olsrud steals one. I think a little more down weight would have been
Yeah.
probably
little
a
more
better shot.
opportunity.
Didn't need to move those right out of the house. All he needed to do is make sure his was better at the end. So a steal of one for Olsrud here after 2 ends of play, and the score is now 2-0. And just some highlights of the last end.
He built it up nicely.
Ja, ser ut som pent, ja.
Veldig lang, ja.
Nei,
aldri røre.
CCT World Curling Tour coverage of the
13-6.
2017 Baden Masters. We're into the semifinals. 20 teams started out on Friday morning. 4 groups of 5. And we're down to the last 4. We've got world ranked number 1 playing out here today with Nicholas Edin playing against Mark Pfister from Switzerland, former Swiss champion. And on our sheet, of course, we're following the Norwegian duel of Wallstad and Olsrud. My name is Armin Harder. I'm here with Sherry Leibrand, coach of the Dutch men's team.
And
Tell
we're
me a
getting-
little bit about your weekend. Are you satisfied with your team? Obviously early in the season.
Yeah, it's early
First big
season.
competition.
It's yeah, we would have liked to have some better results. Had some good games. Got some great lessons. It's always nice to have early in the season.
As long as you don't have to keep learning the same lessons over and over again, it's all right.
Yeah, we got the ice was a little bit tricky for us. We've had some really fast ice early in August in the Netherlands, so it was a little bit of an adjustment, and the boys didn't manage it as well as they should have or could have. But they'll take those lessons home and work with it. And
I think you have more wind in the Netherlands. That's why
yeah,
the
maybe
rocks
that's
were
it.
moving quicker.
Don't know what it is. Normally, this is it's very similar ice for us, but we had a couple really close games, couple really good games. Just missed a few too many shots yesterday in our televised game against De Cruz. Had some great setups, had some great opportunities. Team played well. Unfortunately, had a little bit of miscues with skip stones and lost some opportunities where we could have scored or managed the scoreboard much better. And yeah, that happens sometimes. And
We covered that game, so you obviously had video material you could look at again.
we'll be watching that one back for sure. It creates lots of discussions. I mean, the boys are really young. They put a lot of effort in, a lot of commitment, and a lot of investment from their time and themselves and their families. Just like these guys out here. So,
And like we do.
yeah. And as you were saying, the Dutch boys are pretty young, and in the whole relevance of thing, I think the youngest guys out here this weekend. So
Yeah, they might be the youngest guys out there for a couple of more years too.
yeah, and they're already competitive in the tour.
Yeah.
Quite respected, and yeah, they've earned their place. They've worked hard for it.
Qualified for the Worlds last year.
Yeah.
Big step.
So
Have to be in the top 7 in Europe at the European Championships to qualify for the Worlds. So that's quite an achievement. It's been a while, I think, since the Dutch have done that.
yeah, that qualification for the Worlds also gave an opportunity to play in the in the Olympic trials in Pilsen in December. So
Big,
that was a
important.
that was a big
important
win.
Europeans, yeah.
So this season will look a little bit different. We'll have the Europeans in November, and then the Olympic trials in December, and both of those lead to great opportunities in February and March, the Olympic Games or and the World Championships. So
If I understand correctly, Norway has not selected their team yet.
no, from what I understand, it will be a chosen team by the national coach, and he will choose which one of these teams will represent Norway at the Olympics, and that decision will be made, I understand, in the next 15-20 days.
Be a lot riding on this game.
Both these teams also head off to Canada in the next few days. So, yeah, Mr. Trulson is going to have an opportunity to see the teams in a different different environments in the next few weeks, and it's a tough decision. Wallstead team has been really coming up.
Well, that's the point. You take
And,
the old experienced guys, or do you take
the young
the
firehouses.
young guys coming up and who are making some big steps and inroads? So it will be a tough decision.
Yeah, if you look at Scotland, Scotland made the decision to go with the young guns. They've made their Olympic selection with Kyle Smith and team. They've done extremely well on the tour.
This one was overswept.
Outside pebble and a little bit of fresh ice out there. Stones run a little more.
The Swiss have already selected their team, obviously based on points and ranking. They were so far ahead of the next place team that it was a clear-cut decision, and I kind of prefer the decision based on performance and points myself.
I think there's lots of questions in Scotland about the decisions that were made. I'm sure they have their reasons. Kyle Smith was definitely on top of the tour ranking. He's done really amazing on the International World Tour.
Yeah, he's got a great season last year.
But failed to get out of Scotland for the Europeans or for the World Championships. So there was a little bit of a question mark. Which team do you select? I think Scotland's looking at it as Team GB is looking at it as an investment over the next few years.
Well, what's interesting is every country seems to have a bit of a different system, whether there's a coaching selection or a points system, or
I think Canada's still one of the most clear cut. They have a championship and the winner goes.
they're based, but their qualifications.
They have a
the
qualification
Olympic
for the
are
team.
also based on points, on tour points. And
Yep.
There's
15 er litt trist der for
mixed
tilstyring inn, men
doubles in Winnipeg this weekend. There's the winner of that is gets a trial spot at the kind of the tour event in mixed doubles. World Mixed Doubles Tour event in Winnipeg is a big one this weekend. All the top teams are there, and
åtter bare, da. Holder
a
lenge.
trial spot on the line for the winner. So
Participating in the World Tour events is really key for all teams, all countries. Not only does it give you the opportunity for experience and gain that valuable knowledge, as you said, most countries are using it with point systems to qualify teams for, and it is really the teams that are competitive in the top World Tour are the same teams that are competing at the World Championships, the Olympic Games, the European Championships, Pacific Championships.
Den rundt corneren her sånn, topp 5.
It's a really amazing training ground, whether it's the men's, the women's, the junior, the new wheelchair tour, as well as going to create another whole level of wheelchair curling. I think it's really great development. Mixed doubles also took a really big growth in the last couple of years when the tour stepped on, so thanks for creating that opportunity for those mixed doubles teams, Armin.
Hold fart!
Vågberg nærmest.
Linja bra.
yeah, we're really pleased with the growth on that. That was amazing how quickly we ended up,
Magnus nærmest.
events coming on board, and certainly a huge participation in mixed doubles.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see how it plays out at the Olympics. There's
It is unfortunate it's only 8 teams, but really working hard, I think, and discussing how they're going to make that even a little bit bigger.
I think at least half or more than half of those teams are also from traditional countries. It hasn't played out that any really new countries have able to come into that mixed doubles group.
Well,
Switzerland, Canada, Scotland. Well, no,
No,
Scotland
did
make it.
did not qualify.
But
Norway,
or China, I think.
Russia, USA.
We're looking, obviously looking for maybe some of these other countries to be able to qualify for the Olympics.
I think
The Hungarians
Hungarians have been world champions, silver medalists a few times in the world.
didn't make it.
Yeah, in the last 2 years when the points were on the line.
Ja.
Unfortunately, didn't make the qualification.
Tror du at
It's
Rørsen
certainly been
absolutt som
a
andre?
big boost for Hungarian curling to see one of their teams at the Olympics.
Yeah,
Fair.
they're definitely still committed to the development in mixed doubles. They have mixed doubles for juniors as well there.
Knappe mer.
OK.
So a chance to take out that Norwegian. No, they're both Norwegian, I guess. Take out Olsrud's Yellow Rock, and Hoiberg could put his team in a position to be sitting 3 here in a minute.
Rent.
Just needs to
Wow, 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 wow. Wow,
remove that yellow.
Wow, ikke rør.
Gonna hit it a little bit thin. He wants to stick around for sure. Ooh.
That moves it enough to sit 2.
That stone doesn't seem to be curling up as much as it as the other ones. I thought that a little bit yesterday.
Vi slipper toeren.
So Olsrud going for the back one because it's open. The one on the left is hidden behind the guard. That's why he's taking the easier shot. Just trying
Nei,
to
han drar kanskje
keep-
om å dra rundt vingen. Det er uansett, men han får bedre
keep them down, but a good opportunity to score 2 here for Volstad in this end.
You don't see that on the screen, but I think shortly when you see that rock coming into play, you'll be able to see
Ja, det får han uansett.
the guard.
There it is. Thanks, guys.
Da drar han rundt corneren, da. Jeg spiller den med 8, da. Vi prøver å rulle senter.
Ja, vi kan jo prøve det, men det er ikke noe særlig å skjerpe.
Ja, jeg ser den. Ser den. Det gjør vi ikke. Tøyer til da 0.
Volstead in this end with the hammer. The last on advantage.
Yep.
It's looking like he's in a nice position to score his 2 here. Keep his house split up.
Sitting 1 right now.
Yeah. Just freeze on that.
Still an opportunity to score 3 even.
Yeah.
Hvis du skal fryse rett på, litt på vinkel her, så tapper han, ikke sant?
Ja.
Så vil det være rett på eventuelt et stå på innsida.
Ok.
Så hvis han tapper, så kan han samme du hadde is på senterlinja.
So you want to come in and freeze on top of that?
Ja, easy.
Ja, akkurat inne.
Over on sheet 2, Nicholas Sedin has stolen
Så de
1
tapper
in
litt, eller?
N3. The score is now 3-0. Sedin over Fister.
And they're really moving along. They're an end ahead already.
Plass. Takk ført. Linja er bra. Helt ned.
Aldri slipp han. Kom
Linja er
igjen.
fin. Hard.
Hard.
Both these teams have been undefeated throughout the competition.
Kom igjen. Viktig.
Well, this is coming up short. That's unfortunate.
It's a really missed opportunity. I think it's I think it is third
Vi ser
shot,
nok
but
til å få kvitte oss med den. Ja,
it's
jeg ser
made it pretty
risken
difficult to
ned
get to
der,
that
men,
yellow one at the back now.
That's the only saving grace right now is for Wallstadt, as that rock is nicely covered.
Vi
Problem,
har jo hackover helt
problem now for
sett her.
Wallstadt is even if Olsrud does
Det var ikke halv.
removes this rock and rolls out, that shot rock at the back will be hard to get
Ja,
at for
jeg har
Yeah.
ikke sett det.
Wallstadt.
You can't really play it and still score as 2, eh?
Yep.
Det er så klart det er mulig.
Thomas just needs to pick this one out and
Risken er liksom lærte ikke så mye av min heller, liksom. Ja, jeg synes det. Dra hit. Det er klart, du legger kanskje en dobbel her for mange, da. Men
I think if he removes the red one, if he gets at it, removes it,
så er du der.
Dobbelen for 3.
they're going to have difficulty making 2
Nei,
anyways.
jeg tror vi er nødt til å... Kant 8 fot. En 8. Jeg tror ikke det køller der.
Jeg var myk på mitt
Yeah, I
slip.
think
Ja, du var ikke ute på kost heller.
I mean, if he
så
catches
det
half the
skjer
stone,
litt.
what he can see,
Right, okay.
even,
Yeah.
it's not jamming anything in the back.
No.
He has no risk there.
And we see here that yellow rock in the back
Yeah.
is shot, and in order to score 2, he's got to get at that somehow, and I don't see it.
It is trickier to play on these outsides. They
There
it does have a break point. You got to really have your right weight.
There
You
might-
can't misjudge it a little.
Might be a split on the red to try and score 2 that way. That's about the only option, and that's a tough shot.
I saw Wellstead throw a really nice split yesterday to score a couple points in a game.
Thomas Olsrud, last rock here in the 3rd, looking to remove that shot rock.
Whoa!
Wallstadt
Back!
needs to hit it though,
Kom ut da.
and he gets it.
Yeah.
So, question now: how do you make 2 out of this? He can raise that red one, but the danger of raising that red one is if he doesn't hit it right, he's giving up a steal of a
Dobbel
couple.
med rull, liksom.
He's just drawing, yep, taking his one.
So we're having not got that first skip zone in play. Definitely created a lost opportunity for Wallstad to tie up this game here. So it doesn't take much. Sometimes it just takes an inch or 2 to lose those chances. Teams like Olsrud don't let you have them back, that's for sure. So he'll be drawing for his 1.
Bare fart.
Og så er på corneren Vågberg om da. Hvor er han? Er han lang?
Bare fart, bare fart. Linja der.
He makes no mistake on this one. Right to the forefoot. Nice shot, Mr. Wellstad. That'll be a score for 1. And they will give the hammer over back over to Thomas Olsrud. And they will, on the board, 2-1, Olsrud over Wallstad. After 3 ends of play here at the Baden Masters.
Litt trang. Linja er bra. Linja er bra. Mulig må køle litt. Køle, Vågberg. Hard. Hard. Da spiller.
So here we go, 4th end of play. 2-1. Olsrud over Wallstad. There's a good Norway challenge on here this morning at the Baden Masters with Armin Harder and Sherry Leibrand. Enjoying a little bit of sunshine outside for the teams that aren't on the ice, getting a little bit of change in weather.
Finally stopped raining, but sure glad it wasn't as hot as it was a week ago.
Event here is a week later. It's been a big change for the weather for us. Normally we come here and shorts and tank tops is about all you get to put on and still sweat to death. It's probably been a little bit easier to manage the ice conditions in the building.
It's just been different. We've been 30 degrees temperatures all summer, and now all of a sudden for this weekend it changes. It's a big swing.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Good pause. You can do that. You don't have to continue. As if you fall out of balance before the tee line, you can always stop and start over again.
Hard plass. Markus nærmest.
5.
Markus nærmest.
A new member of this team playing a very good game. Stones into really nice play. Creating a lot of opportunities for his team with the setups.
Certainly has his draw weight. That's what you need. Lead with good draw weight.
Yeah, this position becomes more and more valuable as the game gets, as the game progresses and develops. We're talking now about going to the 5-stone rule, and it's another 4-stone. I think it's going to become even more valuable.
I'm not so sure we need that. I think there's enough mistakes throughout a game teams make. You just need to take advantage of those and you're scoring points. I don't know if the 5-rock rule is going to do any more scoring for these top teams.
Eller doble.
Think it'll make it more interesting for TV, or
No,
it's about the same?
Just every team make mistakes. We watched Edin and De Cruz yesterday. And sure, maybe mistakes you count in one hand in an entire game, but those are the ones you got to take advantage of. It doesn't come down to having, if you're behind, having a 5-rock rule to help you out in the last end to try and steal your way back in the game.
That's a good point.
Whoa, ikke rør.
I mean,
I think there'll be a vote on that in September. Oops. Was not the objective. He wanted to get by that and tap those stones around and get his redstone in play in a little better position.
Her kan han løse på det eventuelt, da.
Enten der eller løser opp.
Thomas will be very happy that center
Jeg
guard
tror
is
du kan
off
løse opp,
play.
jeg, så spille en nier. Men du skal spille backline, du skal flytte mye stein, få litt andre vinkler. Hår lavt, over nesa. Sitte på nesa av den. Backline.
Beste er det som treffer rød, vet du. Gå rett på rød, nesten det beste, eller rett på den gule bak der.
Spill backline.
Backline there, that word we know.
De to til venstre til Thomas er best. Ikke den høyeste.
Ja, jeg er enig. Den eller den, men det er nok is.
Tror det er bedre resultat.
Ja. Det der også kan du leve med.
Ja, men
Eller
den
det.
første tror jeg blir dårligste resultatet. Treffer den første.
Du spiller backline der, tror jeg aldri han krysser. Går ikke crazy her da. Yep.
Christopher Svall.
Hard.
Trying to move these rocks around a little bit, adjust the positioning of them. Get access to the red one that's jammed in between them. Well, just missed the red one.
But he's spread his yellow stones around a little bit and
That's what he wanted.
Yeah.
He's got the hammer.
just to create some good scoring opportunities. Need stones in play to score points.
Skal han spille inn i den?
Ja. Får vi dytta en røde bak corneren nesten, eller?
Den her?
Nei, røde, men går den over gul?
Ja, sånn som det er nå, så kommer Tøkker til å sprette på toppen og sitte oppå.
Okay.
It looks like he's going to use the outside yellow one to come across and
Kontrollert pil.
Just gotta be careful he
Red on
doesn't hit the
yellow.
backside of his red. He might not be sitting,
60.
might not have any red left when he does this.
this is a
Alt, tenkte jeg.
interesting call for the angles that they're sitting at, I think.
I might have preferred the double on the other two.
Yeah.
A little less dangerous.
Wow, ikke rød.
Well, he'd be sitting two then. He has some advantage. Thomas is going to have to play on him.
Yep.
He's sitting two if he makes the double the other way too. It's just set up. Well, that double isn't there. The jam's on there.
Halvtreff!
Might get it the other way. Yep.
For det er veien, så. Må gå litt inn. Kan ikke være tynnere enn halv, da går den på undersida.
Checking the angles.
Usually you would play the top one first, but because the yellow one's sitting in the 4 foot, that's a natural jam on that, so he has to play it the other way. Doesn't need to get it out completely, just needs to get it over into the 12 foot. That brings his
Da er det vanskelig dobbelt
other,
sånn.
other two into play.
Yeah, I think that's what they're looking at as to how far it's going to go across into the 12 foot, if they're going to keep that back yellow one in play or not. And
It's got a long way to go. It's going to lose a lot of energy when it hits the first one.
yeah.
15 der, da.
So I think he's satisfied here. If he also even hits on the nose, he'd be okay. He doesn't want to set up a run, get in behind that red one and then set up a run back double.
Ren.
Vant! 15!
Ren.
15!
Yep.
15!
Yep. Ren.
That's not so bad.
Treffe den først.
Masta skrittet, eller?
Ja, det er bare skrittet og rød først, så tror jeg den forsvinner.
Ok.
Og om
Nei,
du
helt
treffer
på-
den her først og bare dytter den hit også, så er det greit det også.
Er vi på linje, eller?
Hvor fart vil du spille?
Det som best. Samme for meg.
Ok. Med pil så tror jeg vi får ut den nå. Kontrollert pil da. På den. Det går rett der. Stol på kosten.
Could end up losing a shooter with this one,
Ren. Japp, japp.
unless he hits it full enough.
Hard, hard. Hard, hard, hard. Hard, hard, hard.
Wow!
And just
Really
hang
nice
around.
shot.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's pretty
spins
good.
up.
Yep,
Spins up to guard that red one as well.
Ja.
worked out for him.
Over on sheet 2, Pfister is on the board. It is now a 3-1 score line after 4 ends of play.
Kjapt som bare får kontakt der, men det kan egentlig bare bli bra, det. Ha noen bak her.
Dean leading Pfister.
Vanlig opp.
Our feature game here is 2-1.
Helt vekk. Helt vekk. Helt vekk. Nei.
Ja!
Helt. Japp.
Ja.
Wow, wow.
Didn't want to kick that back yellow one out. He was hoping to keep that one. He's got the angles off a little bit.
Er nivået bak der?
Også shot.
Ta shot. Ikke dra.
Tenker du den?
Nesten.
There's a little chatter at the back there between
Ja.
Oscar Harrison and Thomas Olsrud. These teams also know each other quite well on tour many years together.
Egentlig, men
Det er greit, det. Hvis han ser meg gjemt på bak 4 og han rønner, så skjuter han ut.
ja.
We have a defensive and an offensive option here. And Wallstatt going for the offensive option. And draw around that Olsrud counter in the top of the house. Remember, Wallstatt doesn't have the hammer. So this
Fair
rock
risk.
really needs to be buried in behind.
Shoot!
Otherwise, he's giving up a possible deuce here to Olsrud.
Må køle.
Vågberg. Vågberg, hold den i gang. Ja, begge to.
Hard nå, hard.
Langt opp for den. Langt opp for
Moving
den.
nicely.
Hard, 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 hard.
Hard.
They can keep it running there.
Oh, oh.
Can I get behind? He's
Comes
going to
up
be
a little
open.
short.
This leaves Thomas another double. Hit and roll.
Well, doesn't really need the double. I think that's the second counter on the back, isn't it?
They keep looking at it, so I think he's just going to double check here. I haven't seen it from a aerial view, so
Det spiller 11.
Bare spille en vanlig
it's
take.
actually quite
Han
close.
kan spille 11.
I
I
think
think
it's yellow.
yellow is a shot stone, but
Holde shooteren.
That was the risk.
2 tredjedeler. Tror du ganske rett, altså, gutt.
Don't want to jam them.
Ren. 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 Nære.
if you're just joining us, we're coming to you live from the Baden Masters World Curling Tour event. First European Tour event in the season.
That's a bit of a mistake.
So you definitely want to keep your shooter there.
Will Wallstatt try this again? Didn't succeed the first time, so I might use the
Du fikk jo kurven.
go to the defensive option here.
Det er likevel, hvis du ikke helt igjen, men han står jo tydelig, så
Take it out, sit two.
tror du det der har vært skjært.
It's only a 1-point game at this
Force
stage.
Ulster
They
to
don't know if
take
they
one.
need to take too many risks.
15.
So semifinal action. Both these teams winning their quarterfinal match yesterday,
Snakk fart.
advancing to the semifinal this morning. Coming out top of their pools in the round robin play, undefeated. Here at the Baden Masters, you have 4 groups of 5 teams. Play 4 round robin games. Top 2 teams advance to the playoffs.
And manages to avoid the one at the back, so sitting 2, nicely spread out.
It's looking like a force coming here.
Da drar han der, da, så må du gå etter den.
There's an option.
He's
He
gonna
would be
coach.
shot if he gets buried behind that guard.
They've seen the line over there. They've made some nice draws in that corner, both teams.
Full.
It's a line they know.
Den her er akkurat full. Den her er så mye bedre enn full 12.
Have a skip rocks here.
Ja, gjør det, altså.
Kan han få lov, da? Prøve. Prøv å vente på linja her, og
Sant
så
det.
gå litt på slutten, tror jeg er tingen. Ja,
So still an opportunity for 2 for Ulsrud to get it buried behind the corner guard.
jeg har ikke spilt en drå ennå. Hva liker du?
Make sure his shot
Litt glattere
is
linja.
better than the other 2.
14 foran 10, da.
Bra linje.
Nice clean release from Thomas.
Bra linje. Og vi er vide.
Gave it to his sweepers.
Ok.
Linja er
Linja er
bra!
bra. Linja kommer seg. Har
Hardar!
det. Har det så langt dere får den.
Hardar!
Nå køller vi også.
Hardar!
Hardar!
Working this really hard.
Hardar!
Line's great.
Litt. Kom igjen, Jon, da.
Excellent work by the sweepers there. They were on that from the beginning to the end. Great effort.
And it's shot.
If you're wondering why fitness is important in curling, you just got to see why.
Hakke.
Really great effort.
Hvor ville hatt is på nede der da, tror jeg?
It's great as opportunity for 2 here, I think, Armin.
Ja, jeg tenkte håret mindre, men
Ja, det er greit det. Jeg er med på det.
ja, det er bra det.
Lots of exciting growth in the World Curling Tour over in the Pacific Zone.
Yes, we're making some advances there. We'll be developing a number of events over the next few years at all categories. We've got some good partners now that are going to be working on that. Looking forward to some good events. We'll be announcing 1 or 2 in the near future.
Excellent.
Tren! Japp! Hard! Whoa,
And this is close to the guard, but they managed to keep it away.
Egen!
Picked it nicely.
Fint da.
That's a great shot.
11-5.
So all this forces Ulsrud to draw for his 1 point.
Yeah. Good shot followed up by another good shot. It's exactly like you want to see.
Den der toucher 12-foten. Ja.
It's full 8 foot. It's the white circle.
Ja, jeg er på løssida. Så ok, så det kan eke. Jeg tror det kan eke litt her, eller ikke? Hæ? Ja. Legge på en meter bør være safe da, ikke sant? Liksom da, jeg tror jeg slider ut det samme og gjennomfører slippet. Jeg daffer skikkelig på en avstand, så ikke få...
Thomas Ulsrud, last rock here in the 4th end, drawing against 3 Wallstatt counters.
Just needs a piece of the 8 foot.
Needs a full 8 foot.
Oh, the back one's sorry.
But I'm sure it'll be on the button. Sweepers always want to make their skip look good.
I'll probably give him the pin here. Keeping that nice and clean.
There you go. Ah, misswept. Should have been there. Score of 1 here in the 4th for Ulsrud. Gives him control of the game at a 3-1 score after 4 ends of play here at the Baden Masters. And we'll be back in a minute.
Du trenger ikke mer enn det her. Nei.
In number 5, CCT World Curling Tour coverage of the Baden Masters. Armin Harder, Sherry Leibrandt, coach of the Dutch men's team. You're off to Canada too next week, is that right? Turn your mic on, Sherry.
Yeah, sorry about that. Less experience at this role. Yeah, we head off Saturday for the Shorty Jenkins. Spent a few extra days
That's in
getting
Gannett.
acclimatized.
Is that Gannett?
Cornwall?
Cornwall, okay.
Cornwall, Ontario, a really great event. Excellent teams.
Cornwall,
It's
small city, you're close to the Quebec border in
yeah,
Ontario.
we fly into Montreal, spend a couple days in Kemptville, and then with some family and a little bit of family visit too at the same time.
Southern Ontario, my home territory.
Home area. I'm
You're-
come
you're-
from the
you're
other
a Western-
side.
you're a
I'm
Western
a
girl,
Westerner. Yeah. But we participated in the event last year. Boys had a great time. It's a wonderful community. Great curling spirit. Excellent group of teams there. I think a lot of teams here are heading out there. De Cruz, Eden, Ulsrud, Volstead will all be there as well. Italy.
Our next event will be, coverage will be from the Stockholm Ladies, end of the month. That's always a very good event, high class, high caliber event. Lots of good teams there.
Absolutely, also great coverage with your partners there. Feedback from all the teams is always really positive about that event.
Well, we've got very good events all over the European Tour circuit, this one included.
The men's, women's, junior boys, junior girls, mixed doubles, and wheelchair.
We've launched a new website this weekend. Jerry's launched it for us, worldcurl.com. Same address as the old website, but with a new look. And it's not quite complete yet, but certainly has more information on there.
Yeah, work in progress.
It also includes the Wheelchair World Curling Tour and the Junior World Curling Tour. You see the schedules of all the events, and we'll continue to improve that website. You can see we've got 7 events going on this week, and we've got the Baden Masters here in Switzerland. We've got the Tallinn Season Starter Challenger going on in Tallinn, Estonia. Mixed doubles event in Winnipeg, the important one there, and the Stu Sells in Oakville, men's and women's, plus a junior event under 21 in Ottawa. All the scores and information on all those events available at worldcurl.com, or we're still running the curlingchampionstour.org site for a little while longer, and at some point we'll be just working off the one website.
And really exciting development, putting these tours together in one delivered package, and put a lot of work into trying to create that, Armin, and lots of good vision on curling growth and opportunity for the future.
Trying to combine the energies of both the tours and people involved with that. Your work and Lawrence Vito's work with the mixed doubles, and Jerry ceaseless work on the Canadian side, and so might as well pool those energies and try to improve in some areas.
Yeah, and still some work to do, and some ways to find better routes for each of those tours and events, and definitely the junior tour will, in the next year or two, creating some more opportunities and better alliance with all the different parties, and
all those tour series, all those products also looking for sponsors. So if you're interested in sponsoring anything on any one of the tours, just contact me.
And it's really great exposure. More televised games, more events are becoming webcasted. The Curling Champions Tour YouTube channel definitely provides great opportunities for teams. I know these games get a lot of viewership, lots of watching back.
We're going to be on Latvian Sports Center's television, and we're streaming into Norway on the TV2. We're also test streaming into China off this, and we're on a number of TV stations here in Switzerland, so numbers are growing, the viewership numbers. So great opportunities for sponsors to get exposure to, not only for the tour events, but also for supporting teams.
Absolutely. A lot of these teams certainly wouldn't be able to manage without sponsors, and also great hosts and events and sponsors within the events themselves.
Absolutely, it's all necessary to keep these things going at a high level.
Yeah, here in Baden, great volunteer group putting on this event, world class ice crew. I know you're involved with them, and it takes an enormous amount of people with a lot of commitment from all different spaces, and these events don't happen without them. So to all of you, thank you. And for the teams, I don't mind saying for all of them, thanks to all their fans and support networks at home and families for letting these boys travel so much.
Christian for driving you down here and flying back right away, and that's commitment.
Yeah, I had some ear infections, couldn't fly with the team, so he drove me down, flew home, went to work for a few days, and he's flying back today to pick me up. So he's now in the plane. He'll pick me up and drive me back home, and the boys will fly home. And yeah, we're pretty lucky with...
Netherlands is not just around the corner from Switzerland, for those of you who know. It's about 1,000 kilometers.
Yeah.
What
a coach does for a team.
Little Sunday drive.
Yeah.
What a guy does for his wife. I think that's the...
I don't know if he's doing it for me or for the boys, but it's commitment all the way around, and it's been on a great journey, and the journey only gets better. So with the team and support network around you, and you with the tour, have seen a lot of these teams grow up and worked with your own teams in the past. You've done coaching and development, and been really instrumental in Switzerland here over the years. And Are you missing that role a little?
Mulig jeg ser en flik,
Nope.
liksom, men jeg kører ingenting utover.
I
Ja,
do
men
miss
bra, det er gutter
working
som slår
closely
ut
with
da,
the
så
teams,
bra.
obviously, and the coaching staff I had. They were great.
Ja, det må jeg gjøre.
Andy
Tusen takk.
Schaller and Al Moore and
Ja. Jeg tror ikke jeg kan...
Marco
Tror ikke jeg kan
Battilana
gå
working
etter
with the juniors. They were always great to work with, those people.
And
Laurent Spidou on the mixed doubles side.
there's been incredible growth in Sweden, so I think the depth of the country for curling level is really in a great place, from junior boys, junior girls, men's, women's, also mixed doubles. Teams are very competitive, and there's not just one or two. It's,
Andy Schwaller's moved up from the national team coach to the sports director to take over my position, and he will continue doing a fine job for Switzerland. So I'm happy to focus my attention on the tours.
and the tour is happy to have you as well. So thanks for all your commitment to curling,
Det kan
Armin.
være et litt nytt spor, og så er det is her når vi jobba for 2 måneder siden.
Get back to the game here.
Ok, samme sporet.
I've just been exchanging rocks here a little bit this end.
Kanskje litt mindre.
I think Wallstedt needs to make it 2 here at some point. He's got an advantage now. He's sitting with 1. Able to place his second rock into play.
Ok, vil ha 7.
Over on sheet 2, Eden has scored a 3 in the 5th end
Oh, that's
to go up 6-1, take a significant lead over
Er det opp? 7 er bra.
Pfister. Pfister will be trying to get rocks into play now, and Eden will just be trying to clean them up.
Midt på
yeah.
tidligere.
Those guys aren't making very many mistakes. They
Yeah.
played a great game against De Cruz last night, and that wasn't easy. De Cruz played a pretty good game himself.
Okay.
Just 1 or 2 mistakes more. That's all.
It's the first event back for Nicholas since his back surgery. Obviously, he's had some great rehab work and
He's still working on it, but he says it's healing quite well.
put some good time into the gym and some good doctors and support network at home there. Great to see he's made such a great recovery. Great diplomat for the game,
Kanskje vi skal gå i mindre gå
both on and off
vanlig?
the ice.
Trenger ikke det, kanskje. Ja, greit, det er 15 der.
Jeg tror du er ganske ærlig der.
So also keeps getting their stones into play here. They now split the house and got 2 there.
Oldsford looking for a hit and a roll over to get it somewhere close to the other red rock and maybe get shot out of this sitting in the 4-foot.
15 her.
Roll behind the guard maybe.
En.
Thomas Olsrud for skip stone at this end.
Ja.
Hard!
Hardt.
Hard!
Hard.
Hardere!
Hard.
Hardere! Rull den så! Rull den! Hard, 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 hard!
Doesn't get the roll.
Leave that open. Still looking pretty good for Wallstad to take his 2 here. He will have to hit and stay.
Akkurat samme plassen som Holberg-spilt.
Ikke rulla, så var det ganske fint.
Could roll behind the guard.
Ja, men rull oss langt, da, så er det.
Doesn't want to roll
Uansett,
too
da,
far
ryggen
though.
bak, så er det vanskelig å komme etter den. Han var litt solid, da, ikke? Det var han.
Doesn't want to hit it on the nose either, and that'll
Yeah,
set up a double.
Yeah.
So he's got 2 options: roll directly behind the guard, or roll to the
Han var litt mye sånn bedre.
left, which probably more room to play with,
Det er liksom
or
om
to the
det
right
svinger, så er
in
det
this
siste tredjedelen.
case.
Ja.
Roll to the right, and he's got about another 1.5 meters to play with on that side without doing any damage, and
Yeah.
not setting up any double.
Ruller ut til 12 fot.
I think trying to roll behind the guard and getting a perfect shot, there's a bit of a
A
risk
little
there.
more risk, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. These teams will weigh those choices based on ice conditions, skills, accuracy of how the ice is running for them.
And just a
Yeah,
plain old
releases.
gut feeling what's right and what's wrong.
Hold da, helt vekk.
Instincts are really important. Most important is the shooter stays in play.
Oh, he's not looking too happy with this one. Oh, jeez, he's missed it.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a really big missed opportunity there. Yeah, maybe a little too much thought about which way do they want to roll and not enough decision about this is the shot, let's play it.
The roll comes from the sweepers and calling the line mostly. So
Yeah.
the player should just be trying to hit the broom and throw the
Absolutely.
right way. Let the line calling get you the roll.
That brings mental skills into the game and the experience. The mental game in curling is becoming bigger and bigger. More teams are aware of it. And a lot of these teams are working with mental trainers and only fitness trainers, but trying to hone those skills, find those opportunities in order to work better together as teams and individual athletes. It's a pretty intensive season. Not a lot of break time from the start to the finish.
Season's getting longer. We were starting in the end of August already, with the middle of August with some of our events, and we finished off in May in Russia and Siberia with that big women's event.
Being an Olympic year, that's even more, a little more intensive.
Well, it messes up the scheduling of Grant. And is he going to hang around?
Also a little miscued there.
That's
He
enough.
will stick.
Faen, hvor forskjellig den gikk fra din, Sva. Han er litt mørkere,
So
da.
also should probably just blank this out. You want to roll out. And retain the hammer going into N6. The Baden Masters, we play 8 ends of play. If they're tied up after the end of 8, they play an extra end. Like the World Championships or Olympics is Europeans is 10 ends of play. But most tour events are 8 ends.
This, unfortunately, we had no time clocks at this event, and this game is dragging on a little bit longer than it should be. Oldsrud tends to be a bit of a slow player if he doesn't have a time clock on him. All his games are a little bit longer.
So there we have a blank.
Blank end. Score remains at 3-1 after 5 ends of play. Oldsrud in the lead over countryman Wallstadt.
Bra, da. Holder den til igjen. Først inn, tight guard.
Man kan faktisk dra 2 inn nå.
Nå er de fartene mest, tror jeg. Så det er stort sett.
Jeg har på alle tøyka.
Dra inn på fra her, da.
So we're back.
Well, go ahead, sure. I'll give you the lead. I've been talking all weekend.
N6, Olsrud, Volstad, Norway versus Norway. Olsrud is up 3-1 after 5 ends of play. Moving into the 6th end here. Volstad has the hammer. He'll be looking to score a couple points to get this game tied up. Watching some pretty basic steady play.
Den er bra. 2-2,5. Markus nærmest. Perfekt det. Bra spill.
Ligger bra. Litt sneppe videre foreløpig. Foreløpig er han i the good
Vi har
stuff.
nok fart, vi har nok fart.
Ja. Begynner å komme.
Må gå litt
Kommer
nå,
nå.
gå litt nå.
Kommer nå. Kommer nå. Kommer nå.
Det er
Og
nok, det
holder.
er nok, vi er 5. Dårlig.
Bra.
Kjempebra. Ja, den stoppet fort den der, altså.
Fikk jo bra, eller? Rull egentlig.
So we've got a couple. Ulster's got a couple stones in play here. Objective for him is to keep the forefoot blocked up, not to get too complicated. He's up a couple points. Ulster will get some corners, try and get some play happening, create some opportunities for himself.
9-5. 9.
1. Ja. Wow. Wow. OK. 9-5. 9-5.
Her spilte du. Spilte i
Right,
sted,
double.
Ashwa.
Takes off one.
Tror ganske ærlig her.
Ja, det viser det.
Tror Håvard holder den fint fra der. 15.
And it's looking like our game over on sheet 2 is over. Didn't see what happened in that last end, unfortunately. We'll try and bring you an update as soon as possible as to what the score is, the final score. But it is handshakes over on sheet 2, so Eden will advance to the final.
Må du gå hardt.
And the score's just gone up.
Må du gå hardere.
He has scored stolen 2 in N6 to take an 8-1 win over Pfister from Switzerland. So one of the finalists is determined, and it will be Nicholas Edin.
Ja.
The first European event on the World Curling Tour this season.
Du
Edin
spiller inn
is
igjen.
continuing where he left off last season.
He is number 1 on the tour at the
Number one
moment.
in the number 1 in the world ranking, so not a great surprise. See him in the final. Although he had some shaky games throughout the round robin, it always
Yeah.
seemed like he was coming from behind.
And then maybe that was the strategy they were working on, how they fight back in later ends. This early season,
You know you're good when you can do that on purpose, right?
yeah,
Prøv å komme litt på innsida her.
I was always fighting from behind, but I never did that on
never
purpose.
did it on purpose. I think early in season, teams have had some time off in the summer and worked on different strategies and done quite a bit of work in the gym. So getting a little bit back more accustomed to their new physical skills or communication skills or strategies they've studied and trying things out.
A couple of gram extra muscles messes up your curling
Your balance.
technique and balance. You could find that again. That's true.
Yeah.
That's what I always discovered. It's the loss of muscles over the summer instead of the gaining them.
Maybe the arm muscles and
gaining of beer
the
muscles.
yeah. I think these athletes out here now, Armin,
No,
the
they're not
curling
doing
change changed a bit. These guys are spending a lot of time in the gym in the off season. No, the Dutch
That's why-
boys have put
that's
on
why I
a lot of
That's why
gym
I
time
quit.
in
I
this
hate
season.
The gym. That's why I quit. And I was too old, I guess.
Ja, jeg vet det, men jeg håper vi kan dra den på slutten. Linja er bra. Ha litt
So
plass.
the winner of this game will advance to the final against Nicholas
Hold i
Edin
gang. Linja er bra.
here this afternoon at the Baden Masters.
Linja er strøken. Har du plass?
And both teams still have a possibility.
Hvor langt skal hun dra den?
It's,
Gjerne helt bak hit, hvis du kan.
Ikke så langt.
still time to create some opportunities.
Bra forsøk der. Bra spill.
Det er også helt greit, altså. Egentlig det er det beste. Ganske ærlig her, tror jeg, Torger. Hvis man hadde is der på dragninga,
So Tucker near guards. Throwing third stones for Thomas Holsrud. This has been a team combination for many years. So guys have a lot of success, a lot of great records. So family support from home. So cheers to the kids watching, I'm sure.
Hard for rull! Hard for rull, hard for rull, hard for rull, hard.
Really great sweep. Got that stone by, gets a nice roll over to the center. Guards up that one in the forefoot.
11-5.
Yeah.
Really applying the pressure to Wallstad. Key is going to be to keep the shooters.
Whoa.
So they're not going to be playing big weights here. They're going to be playing weights that they can manage the line.
Yep.
And,
Whoa.
keep the rolls in play.
Rent! Yep!
Yep.
Oh. Yep.
Nice shots.
Spill. 11-3, bra
Maybe
fart.
would have liked to roll over a little more. Might be a little bit more too open yet. Because isn't looking completely satisfied. See if we can see the line here. Here it comes. Replay. Great view of the opponent, watching the stone, watching the lines. Really key. Players engaging the entire end.
Vekk!
Prøv, Håvard. Prøv. Alt du har. Alt du har. Du får tak inn. Du får tak inn, Håvard.
And Peterson trying to work this stone, get the sweeping over. Got it moved out. It's got a piece of it, but not enough to take it out of. Yeah, potential still scoring position there. It is sitting third shot. So I'll only have to worry about these two stones in the middle.
Rent. Yep. Yep. Hard. Rent. Whoa. Rent. Yep. Egen. Yep. Men det greit, det bedre å ha den vinkelen I forhold til den andre.
I would have liked to roll that over a little bit more in front of that yellow, but
Jeg tror det.
keeping it close
Hvis de
forces
dobler det,
Norway to kind of group your stones a bit.
Jeg tror ikke de køler mye her, altså.
Nei. Prøv å sitte to.
We're watching
Ja,
the
så
sixth
liten
end
slapp inn.
of the semi-final
Ja, han dobler, han skal gjøre det, da.
at the Baden Masters.
Ja, jeg skjønner det.
In a
Ja,
sunny Baden, Switzerland this morning,
Rulle inn, altså, dra hvor som helst.
or at least no rain.
Nei, jeg tror ikke det. Jeg tror vi må
It's
stoppe
warming
her.
up again.
Nei, det er ikke sikkert det.
It was a short winter.
Ja, men hvis,
Tre, kanskje. Tre I spill. Jeg tror det der, jeg tror hvis du
Not sure
gjør
what
et bra
all
slag og ruller.
the discussion is
Og
here.
samtidig så det liksom ikke noe dobbel der heller, for den jammer
Tough
så
double.
veldig inn. Jeg tror vi må slå, jeg. Så må vi se om
Okay,
vi får
just
noe
got to
sjanse.
remove this one on the center.
hvis det er
hva
litt
tenker
mindre å gå vanlig,
You
eller?
don't want to leave a double sitting there is what their concern is.
Kan Stein
Well,
holde
that
den,
one red one on the left is
Jeg tror jeg.
Tenker, med
Jeg
vanlig
Third
så kan
shot
du
at
få
the
en
moment.
liten flopp inn, liksom.
Jeg tror det.
if he leaves a double here. Wallstadt could be sitting two all of a sudden.
Vanlig ned.
And then the score of 2 will keep him in the game.
Don't think he has much of a choice though. The double on the reds is it's really tricky. The jam on the back.
Torger,
Not to
det
mention
en
it's
fin
a
med
fairly
kjapp,
long
det er ikke
double.
vits I å være for fancy.
Nei, men jeg mener hvis det lar seg
Ja.
gjøre, da.
Vanlig da.
Kom med.
Rent.
Rent.
Wow.
Wow.
Nice shot. Yeah, it's probably the double is still there. It's just a matter of how well he can manage his shooter.
Well, getting the double might set up a double.
Yeah.
Just to make that double, he's going to end up rolling to the right a little bit.
He's really got to manage the weight on there.
Probably will set up the double for Olsrud going the other way.
Er det tøff, så går det I hvert fall.
I think you got to take your chance here, though.
Looks like he's going to throw big weight again.
10-5.
10-5, ja. Han fikk køll på sin nå, da, men våre vanntaker ikke køll her.
Nei, vi setter den bedre.
Well, we saw him a couple ends ago throw a little bit too much weight and ended up rolling out, costing him a chance for 2.
15.
You know, a lot of times, just because you got to remove 2 rocks doesn't mean you need to throw more weight.
Absolutely not. You get your angles right, and you can make double takeouts, triple takeouts with a whole lot less. I think managing your shooter is really the biggest key here. You lose that, you lose your opportunity.
Wow.
Rent. Japp.
Wow.
Rent. Japp.
Japp.
Hard.
Coming across the face. Oh, pretty good shot.
He's made that very well.
He didn't leave an easy double.
Yeah, but he
Rolled
definitely-
far enough.
Yeah.
Kom fremme.
He brings that top red one into play.
Ja, det må vi bare...
Still possible jam on the back. So not an easy double for
Må bare
Olsrud.
prøve.
And it's a fairly new piece of ice out there, so they haven't played much out there.
For tynt.
Ja, eller... Du nøtter den der, så nøtter hun bak her også.
Ja, så nøtter den her, så nøtter hun bak der, det er helt riktig. Det er, prøv å unngå det da.
I mean, first you got to make the double and try and avoid the jam on the back yellow one. So tricky shot.
Spiller på den nose-varianten.
Ja, det er den vi spiller på. Det er 2 cm høyt.
He'll definitely go for it. I mean, he can afford to give away a score of 2 here. It's not ideal, but
Prøv å ikke si det.
he definitely doesn't want to give away a 3.
Sett den.
Well, it shouldn't be a 3. He's got to get at least one of them. So I mean, jamming both would be really unfortunate. Possible though.
Whoa!
Yep.
Ja!
Hard!
Whoa! Whoa!
Hard!
Ja! Hard!
So red. Oh, picks
Nice
him
shot.
cleanly. There you go.
So we played Olsrud in the round robin as well. We were in the same group, and they played a 92% game. Don't get many breaks or opportunities, and
Yeah.
that's exactly why.
Our former world champions and ranked top 10 in the world. They've won a whole hockey sock full of medals at world and European championships,
Olympic Games.
and that too.
Juniors. A year or 2 ago.
Straight draw for 1 for Wallstatt. Puts them a little behind the 8 ball. Down 1 in the 6th end. Olsrud with the hammer and control of the game. 3-2 after 6 ends of play for Olsrud over Wallstatt.
Linja, bra.
So back in play here, the Baden Masters, N7, score of 3-2. Ulsrud from Norway versus Volstad from Norway. Semi-final action. A bit of a miscue. Comes up short there. A little bit of a mental error. He's played an awesome game up until this point, so I think that's the first miss we've seen from
Well, the pressure's
Magnus
on him a
lead.
little bit, and I have to adjust to that.
wanting to be sure he gets that guard up long front. And
well, I think that if he's just trying to get it over the hog line, I think that's one of the toughest. We were talking about this last night. Personally, I think that's one of the toughest shots in curling, is that guard just over the hog line. I mean, the 4 foot is easier.
Harvard van Pedersen, lead from Team Ulsrud. This Ulsrud team has been together a long time. Lots of success on tour and championships. Winner of this game will meet Nicholas Sedin in the final here this afternoon in Baden. Nicholas Sedin beat Team Pfister from Switzerland this morning. Score of 8-1.
La to. Midt imellom er perfekt. Lang toer. 2,5. Okay. Markus litt på slutten. Ja. Bra, Magnus.
Wallstedt reached the semi-final here by defeating Lindström from Sweden in the quarterfinals.
Quite handily, 9-2.
And Ulsrud had a tougher game against young hot team from Switzerland, Schwaller.
Well, they missed their last shot to force an extra end. It was a real tough one, but
brilliant attempt. It was a really great shot, and lots of applaud by the fans. Even though they missed it, the effort to see it and call it and have the courage to do so. Lots of compliments to that young team. They're a force to be reckoned with here in Switzerland in the future.
well, Swiss hopes are on that team, I think, for the future. Certainly one of them. Some pedigree there with the name Schwaller on your back. And of course, 2 homegrown lads, 2 lads out of this club.
Mannemeyer and
Marcel Kuffler, both of
those guys have added a new player to their lineup this year as well. Searching out how to get
Michael Brunner.
That seems to be a good combination starting out early this season.
Took Rachel Keller's position.
That's another team heading over to Canada next week.
Have to turn off the lights and shut the doors and turn off the lights. Everybody's in Canada.
Yeah, everybody's in Canada.
Except me. But the Jays aren't doing so well, so there's no point going.
There's always curling to watch.
Hockey season's going to start soon. Go Leafs.
So, N7. Got some stones into play here. Ulsrud's going to be looking to score his 2, I think, probably. And not taking any chances. He doesn't mind blanking off this end. Keeping the hammer coming home in 8. Take an opportunity if he gets one, but I don't see a lot of risk. On the other hand, Wallstedt will be wanting to put up a lot of pressure and try and take an opportunity to steal something.
Yeah, pretty well have to steal one here. You don't want to be down 1 without the hammer going in the last end.
Not against Ulsrud.
No. Just short. Still running 25, so.
So the ice speed hasn't changed.
Nope. And maybe into the middle, obviously, into the sliding path. It'll slow down at the end.
Yeah. We found that in the games
But
this week. It's
well, that's
just didn't carry further. and-
That's normal. And
Yeah,
wherever she is,
absolutely.
Krise.
got to be aware of the sliding path.
Yep. Hard! Hardere, Norge! Hardere! Hardere! Hard!
Double attempt here. Gets one, gets two. Leaves the center guard though.
The red ones are out of play.
Just off the center, but usable.
Quick decision. Wallstead will try and get around that. Both of these teams from Norway still have potential opportunity to play in the Olympic Games. Norway will be making a selection in the next few weeks to choose the team that will represent Norway. There will not be a playoff, I understand. And Paul Trusen and the committee will make a selection based on results and efforts.
Japp, 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 japp. Mye is, bra satt. Halstein mindre enn i stad. Nesten så det blir rett opp.
Vant! Stol på dragningen, den er ganske lite vinners, ass. Tror det vant, ja.
Litt til, eller?
Ja, backline kølla ikke mye da, eller? Hva som jeg har sagt, det var isen på dragningen. Du får litt mer da, noe sånt.
So I guess maybe Christopher was questioning the ice, and Tom was saying, well, they gave this much for the draw, so this should be good for the takeout. So I guess that was the way the discussion went there. Oh. Just gets pretty close by the guard, manages a nose hit, and now sitting two.
It leaves that guard still up there, though. It still leaves a potential opportunity for Wallstead to use it.
Well, Wallstedt clearly going for the steal here. Doesn't have much of a choice.
Yeah.
I think he has to. Running out of ends.
Yeah, they'll have to keep courage and keep doing it. As most tour events, 8 ends are played. Unlike World or European or Olympic Championships. 8 ends of play. They're tied up at the end of 8. There will be an extra end.
Marcus Højberg.
There's also been an alternate with Team Olsrud at Europeans and I think the last Olympics.
I think he was skipping himself for a while also. So skip experience.
Yeah, and then he used to throw 4th on this team for a while as well. These guys have played around with their lineup a little, added a new lead this year.
Like most of these teams do. A lot of different combinations out there. Good draw. It's behind the guard.
And really exciting for Norway that they've got a couple teams developed to this level and that are competitive on the World Tour at the moment.
A couple of years ago, you were certainly starting to wonder what happens when Olsrud is done. What does Norway have? But it's really good to see Wallstedt coming up and developing so well.
A really excited commitment from their for community and also for Team Olsrud for putting investment in helping to develop players for future generations.
So he ended up taking out his own rock at the back. That yellow rock on the left-hand side should be removed. It's actually out of play. He's just putting the guard up, eh?
And Thomas will go and move it out of the way. He was waiting for the player to finish. Not become a distraction. He's respectful. He's really going for his guard. He's playing really offensive here.
spill.
Trying to create an opportunity. There is some risk to this that they end up getting few scored against them, but that's a chance you got to take at this level of play.
Yep.
Hard.
Ulster will just be clearing everything possible, keeping everything open.
Ja, og hvis du har en frys der, så kanskje skal jeg få dyppe den ut der.
Ja. Så vi går inn med feil.
You gotta think about what they do here.
Jeg har lyst til det, egentlig.
Corner freeze the top yellow one.
Er det sånn,
Not a bad option.
Så har vi et slag for å gjøre det vanskelig i hvert fall.
Ja, for alternativt på siste, så kan jeg så dra hit.
Problem with playing the guard here is if Ulsrud switches and then goes behind the guard. All of a sudden they're
Ja, ja.
giving up a deuce.
Ja.
Samme.
I think trying to create a stagger on that top yellow one would be a good idea.
Relativt lik fart, eller?
Add a little bit of protection for the one in the forefoot to at the same time create opportunity to leave another guard there. Stefan Wallstedt. Skip and throws fourth.
Linja er grei. Rent. Linja er bra, rent.
Må kølle. Begge to
Japp.
kan gå nå. Begge to.
Linja er bra.
Hard, hard, hard. Langt inn og får den. Hard, hard, hard.
Bra.
Det koster.
Spill.
Yeah.
Røykepause, eller?
So 2 rocks left for Ulsrud and only
Ta
1
garden,
for
Torgeir.
Wallstedt.
Ta den hele omgangen.
And I think that's not a bad decision. You're up 1, you got the hammer. Don't need to go
Slår.
take any risks.
Så vi spiller mot to.
You've got control of the game.
Men, ja, du dobler ikke. Du drar ikke mot to. Du slår jo.
Even up 2 without going into the last end is a pretty
Yeah.
comfortable spot. I kind of like that.
Yeah, scoring one here isn't such a bad thing.
That's where the 5 rock rule might make a difference. Up 2 coming home without.
Yeah, you have to make different choices. We haven't had the opportunity to play it, but I know it's something they'll be voting on soon with the World Curling Federation.
På Markus sin, når Magnus sin første, så hadde jeg dit, og den kom omtrent til dit gule lås.
The thing what they do here, do they split the house and try and take some risks? Do they
Om det
come
er
around
liksom
that center
dypt
guard,
til kant
come
til
around
kant,
the other
og så er
side?
Out turn half buried
Yeah.
det på. Og
Looks
to
like
der.
they're gonna go
around
the
the
other
yellow.
way.
If
Det er
I-
litt luft. Jeg har gått
Sure,
bare
if I,
stoppe
yeah.
her, egentlig. Hvis den ikke køller opp. Men hvis den køller opp, så er det fint å være helt
there's a good curl on the right hand side.
Yeah,
You
finishes
get
nice
half.
there.
Just you don't need to be fully buried behind the yellow. Just get half buried.
Sånn, halvløp,
It'd be tough to remove both of them.
I think this.
But they're drawing from the intern side.
Det er såpass.
Yeah, I think this is more risk of setting up the double for Ulsrud
On this side.
on this side.
Yeah, I think so too.
Your margins are quite less. Is an easier draw maybe, but
Var fart! Hæ? Hæ?
Linja er der.
Den er bra.
Linja er bra.
Er den
Bare
kølet?
fart. Har
Køle!
plass, har plass, har plass.
It's
looking
looking
a little
warm.
warm.
Sweepers are backing off.
Ah, jeg bør la den sitte.
Oh, this is very warm.
It's definitely not an ideal position. It's definitely a double there.
There's there is a double off the center one.
I think you choose to go either way here, I think, Armin.
Der med
Draw.
backline. Ikke den ganske safe? Hæ?
Sure if the
Så
angles
holder
of
den
the
i gang.
camel.
Hva er det du holder over? Tror det bare er safe, altså.
If that rock was
Okay,
half a
crazy
rock
curl
shorter,
out,
he'd be
backline.
going for the double right now.
Okay.
Just went long
Jeg tror
enough.
min innline curl er mye mindre enn din, da. Tror du ikke?
Tror det går rettere her enn der.
Tror jeg òg. Tror det, altså.
So Olsrud here in the 7th with the hammer. Going to
Er ikke det mye safere å spille backline?
Play first one.
draw to the button, play for 1. Take a 2-point lead. He's giving up the hammer, but a 2-point lead without
Nei, jeg liker ikke det.
not a
Okay,
bad
let's-
position to be in either.
Nei. Spiller backline. 13-5 på han, så hadde jeg urørt.
Discussed it with the team, what the margins were, what the risk and the rewards were. He's going to go for the sure shot. You see him cleaning the stone there, making sure it's nice and clean. Cleaning the path out of the way. Nice routine.
Bra snakk, null panikk. Bra inn.
And see these top players, no matter what the shot is, their routine is always the same, getting ready in the hack. You're a young junior curler watching these games, those are the little things, and coaches, those are the things you want to encourage your teams to do,
Hold i gang!
Ja,
develop your skills.
hard!
Well, they got on it right away.
Hard, gutter! Hard, hard, hard! Hard, 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 hard! Hard,
Wonder if he
helt
was
inn,
short when he let go of it.
helt inn.
Bra, Kosta.
Nice shot.
Keeping it straight. So a score of 1 in the 7th. That gives Olsrud a 2-point lead, but he does give up the hammer in the 8th.
Sånn i ettertid, så var det
And now it's
faktisk,
just a matter for Olsrud to try and keep it clean.
Jeg hadde ikke noe lyst til å gå videre heller, da, så liksom bli hengende da.
Wallstadt will definitely be trying to score 2 or more.
Yep.
Here we see the score, 4-2 after 7 ends at the Baden Masters. World Curling Tour coverage continues in just a moment.
Risk å gjøre det, altså. Vanskelig å komme rundt corneren. Stanger. Kanskje må legge senter.
Alternativet er å dra én inn bare. Ja, det kan være bra senter. Vi drar inn her. Vi ser hva som skjer etter det.
Hæ?
Det var mindre is, tror jeg. Det var ikke det han pekte på. Han snakket bare om løst og fast.
So, welcome back to the last end of play. Unless Wallstead scores 2. Olsrud's hoping it's the last end of play. We're in the 8th end at the Baden Masters World Curling Tour event. And it has been a great weekend here at the Baden Masters.
Skyld, oh, oh, oh.
20 teams
Nei, ja, men det-
participating at really high level of curling. World champions, Olympic champions, all in the same neighborhood. Competing for play today.
33,000 Swiss francs in total prize money.
2 er bra.
11,000 to the winner, 8,000 to the runner-up. So there's a bit of cash on this last end for
Ja,
these
det er
teams.
litt det.
And many thanks to the organization committee here in Baden, all the staff and volunteers. They welcome the teams and host a
Det er bra.
really phenomenal event here every year.
And we're really fortunate. There's a new hotel
Den er veldig fin.
just next door, the
Part Hotel.
Apart
it's been-
Hotel.
Yeah.
And it was just finished in November last year, January last year. So Boy, it's really simple to good rooms over there. Just wander right over here.
Yeah, it's been great for the teams to get a little more rest between games. They just head over. It's been easier for the transport committee as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we did have a great hotel sponsor there for many years.
Yeah.
In Baden.
Solid 15 da.
Her bare 15. 15. 15.
So soft peel attempt here from Robert Pedersen. Just misses it.
Bra satt det var.
Hook shots are still hard. A lot of teams work on them. Ice conditions are really
Well, it's the
necessary
corner
to be
one,
able to get
the
them.
corner soft peels on the corner guards are obviously more difficult than the ones in
Yeah.
the middle. You don't have a lot of room. You can only move them
The
one.
margin's pretty small.
Margin's very small. So
Okay, vill ha han på linje.
Also, he'll be really going for his 2 here. He needs to score 2 to stay in the game. He scores 3, he wins.
well, it's been difficult to score multiple points in this game at all. There are no more than ones scored throughout the game. Nobody's scored 2 points yet.
A little bit different in the other semi-final game. Eden made some more multiple ends. Only one's a single and the rest were multiples against Pfister.
Those guys are firing on all cylinders again.
Yeah.
Pfister's coming off not a great season last year.
Whoa.
Had to deal with some illnesses in this team.
Absolutely.
And I think they're fit this year, and they'll be making their way back
They're
up the competitive
Yeah.
ladder.
great young motivated team. Lots of energy.
Yeah.
Lots of commitment to the game and development. So
Så jeg vil
Just
komme litt
takes
lenger
one
ut.
player to get sick, and it throws your team right out.
it's certainly nice to see that they stuck together and are fighting through it together, and that's going to build a lot of character for them in the future.
I think so. I've known those guys for a while. Yeah, good young lads.
2,5.
Great support network around them as well.
Linje er bra.
Back to our game here. We're in seconds. They're
Markus
throwing.
nærmest.
Bra fart.
Wellstead is still working hard to get his guards up. Great
Yep.
opportunities to get some come-arounds.
Important to keep these guards as level as possible. Avoid any
that's it.
double takeouts.
Halvannen stein høyre.
Could be there.
Ja, prøv hvis du vil. Syns det. Det er fullt mulig den her, altså. Da. Tjukal er i halv.
If you had Edin or Eriksson throwing this, wouldn't be any questions. See how Christopher Svaw does this.
He's usually pretty sharp on these two.
It's one, and
A little too thin. Cuts across the bottom.
getting pretty close to it. Good attempt.
He'll throw up another one. Thomas catching a little bit of extra oxygen back there. Early morning game here in Baden.
Få han på linje.
Semi-final action. The winner will progress from this game to play against Nicholas Edin in the 1-2 game.
Spill.
1-1 game final.
That's perfect separation on those now. Absolutely no double opportunity there. Torgen Ergaard.
Hard! Hard over! Hard!
Helt ut, da.
Some other events this weekend. In
5-6.
Tallinn, Estonia.
Yeah, we welcome Tallinn, Estonia for their first Challenger Series event. They've had a mixed doubles already last year, and they'll have a women's later on too. So we're looking for that.
And the facilities there are going to be hosting the European Championships next year. So really exciting.
This November it'll be in St. Gallen, Switzerland, the Europeans.
Congratulations to Harry and Marie winning the New Zealand Winter Games Mixed Doubles Championships last week. So lots of growth in Estonia.
Sure, there's a few New Zealanders checking out on the map where Estonia is.
Should be, eh?
Yeah.
And yeah, opportunity for those teams from the mixed doubles to play in Champion Tour events, World Tour events. That's just really helped mixed doubles develop across Europe. So both those players also coming out of Junior Tour events over the years. As this Wolstead team has done, they've all participated in Curling Champion Junior Tour events over the years.
Yeah, we've had a number of them. Junior Tour winners. Now moving into the elite side.
Yeah, you got Pfister and Smith. Oscar Eriksson.
Yeah. Good young talent out there.
A lot of these guys started out in the Junior Tour.
Or grew up on the Champions Tour, as most of these teams all did.
Yeah.
Hedin, Ulsrud, Myrna, all products of the tour.
Development opportunities, yeah, absolutely. Started becoming more competitive, more opportunity to play competitive games.
We used to play for a toaster.
Microwave, toaster, rocking chair, you know.
Coffee machine.
It was great when you were a student. Eighth end, skip stones, or sorry, third stones here.
Switch. Langt opp for den.
Looked like a nice draw.
Both these teams using gold line brooms and older version. After all the broom fiasco last year, you'll notice all the teams have the same broom pads. Use different products, different suppliers, but the material on the pad is the same for all brooms. Levels the playing field a little bit.
Der toeren. Ja, da treer sånn som nå, ja.
So, yeah, Thomas Ulsrud has 2 rocks left, and Hoiberg
just threw that.
Wallstadt has 2 rocks left, so if Ulsrud removes this, the maximum there's a tie possibility.
Get quite a buried there. I think they've struggled getting that to finish in that line a few times. I wonder if they've tried putting a guard up on the other side and go around that way. I haven't seen that at all this game.
Oh, yeah, they're all chosen the outturn side to draw down here.
Ja!
Haven't seen too many in-turn draws down the other side. They got on this right away, and Christopher's sweeping it hard to keep it straight. Looks like he's on the guard. Well, that apparently curled. Maybe
I think it was right out of his hand. I think it was a little tight. They were on that as soon as it left his fingers.
Well, the plot thickens. Now certainly the deuce is on the table. Red is second. Problem with hitting his yellow one is that he may set up a double. So I think he'll want to hit this and roll to the left as far as possible without rolling too far. If he hits it on the nose, there's a pretty natural double.
så er jo kampen.
I think he risks if he freezes. And,
Nå prøver jeg for mye.
yeah.
Men om du...
Got to get the angle right, not leave Thomas something to play all the rocks out.
Jeg prøver nobben min, da.
Yeah, tap it a little. Get a little bit of separation.
Så tar utgangspunkt oppå der, faktisk er jo...
He's playing the double a little harder.
Så dro du vel...
Det var vel
Like rolling to the left.
Ja, du dro her for...
Don't have a lot of room to roll to. You only have about 2 feet.
Der.
But
Hvis du tar her eller noe sånt.
if you keep it full in the 8 foot, roll to the left,
Ja, kanskje litt mindre også, så vi har noen
that
plass på.
double becomes very difficult. This looks like
He's just going to tap it to the back.
nose tap or something.
Yeah.
Takk til du.
That would leave a double. Just got to tap it back far enough to make sure that red one on the right is second shot.
Den gikk jo nesten urett da.
Big shot here for Stefan Wallstedt. Needs to make 2 in this end to force the extra.
Gjerne vent! Michaels!
Wow, ikke på linje!
Rent! Rent! Japp!
Starting to make its move.
Ok.
Magnus nærmest. Japp, japp,
Rent,
japp,
japp.
japp, japp.
Yeah, careful.
Curling really hard.
Hard, hard, hard.
Oh, I don't think they're moving it enough.
Bra spill.
But
Once it starts to move, it really
they
slows
got
down.
the right
It's not-
angle on it. The double's not there. Might have set up his deuce this way.
Vanlig take, ish. Halvtreff med vanlig take.
It's looking closer like we're heading into an extra end here, Armin.
Well, if he hits and rolls in front,
Ja, men det er jo det som skjer i det du treffer der.
Ja, nå har vi tatt så jævlig litt is, da. Vi skal treffe halv. Nei, jeg har ikke hatt spilt. Jeg tror jeg...
Kommer vanlig eller mere?
well, the chances for an extra end are certainly
Right.
increased at the moment.
Vanlig opp.
Ja.
På innhent, da.
It's a really key shot here.
Louise på innhent. Ja, men jeg må ha litt til, Torger. Enda litt. Halv.
Hæ? Ja. Halv er ganske nære.
Enda litt mer is. Vanlig opp.
Ja. Kanskje snepp tjukkere enn halv. 60, 55-60.
Here it comes. Thomas Olsrud. This is last stone of the end.
Ja, wow, wow,
Nære, ja!
wow, wow.
Ja!
He's looking to play hit and roll.
Wow! Egen! Egen over! Egen der!
Doesn't get it.
Ok da.
Comes up a little short on the roll.
Faen, rett seg på slutten.
Yeah, it leaves Wallstedt the pin for 2.
Nei, jeg tenkte sånn... Hardt her en plass, da.
Nei, jeg trengte å dra kaldt da.
Just to draw.
Henge ut og spise.
Yeah,
He
that's
just
all,
put it there.
that's all he's got.
Samme.
Can't nose hit that yellow one. So.
Litt på den.
That's way too much risk. No.
Well, yeah,
Så samme
he's not shot even if he does. So.
Kosta litt med her, og...
Come down to his own. Basically, just played the same shot he just played.
Absolutely.
That would force the extra end.
akkurat samme.
Created a good opportunity.
Stefan Wallstedt looking to extend
Den er bra.
his life here in this game.
Bar fart.
Needs to come right down on top of his own
Linja der.
without moving anything around.
Oh.
It's looking
Kan
pretty
Men
good.
kølle, vi sier bounce.
No, they didn't overheat it.
Ja,
And
rent,
it's starting to
rent,
come
sånn.
down now.
Pretty
Looking
nice.
pretty
Got
good.
a really nice line.
Bra.
And a score of 2 here in the 8th
Nice shot for 2.
to tie it up.
Faen, jeg må springe tilbake igjen, da.
Nice applause from the crowd that's building out here this morning.
That
So,
ties up the game after 8 ends, and I'm sure these two teams will be having tight battles all season long.
never give up. Keep fighting.
Never know with this game. 4 each after regulation play. We're now going into extra ends. Or 1 extra end for sure. Here at the Baden Masters.
Jeg ser den her, det er greit.
Her tegnet køl der.
Der er køl. Andre veien, så vi skal prøve den veien.
Tenk du får lov til å velge det der selv.
En av dem.
Du er en av 3, altså.
Ok. Glir godt, ser jeg.
Jeg er 3 nesten. Ja, nære. Og ikke så nære.
So, last extra end of play here at the Baden Masters.
Et spill.
4-4. Also made a nice 2 house in the last end in regulation pay
Vi går out da, nå.
to tie it up,
Hva vil du ha i is
forcing the
da?
extra end.
Hæ?
Olsrud will have the hammer.
Ja da.
And started the end off with a really nice guard on the center line. He'll be applying the pressure, looking for the steal.
11!
Wow, wow!
11! Det er ganske myke, ikke harde.
And Olsrud will be keeping the opportunities open, so he has a shot with his last for sure
Det er litt myke.
to score his 1 and the win.
Hard, 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 hard! Egen. Hard, 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 hard!
Took us 8 ends to get a multiple score.
Yeah, and it good come around draw by Hoiberg, limiting the opportunity for Thomas to clearly pick out a come around there. He had a half a stone, but misjudged the line a little bit and overcurled and took off the guard and created the opportunity to set up the 2.
That was the mistake. Yeah.
And it's only 1. That's all it takes at this level of play. 1 mistake, and it usually costs.
Litt trang nå. Stikk tidlig. Ok. 2 med den linje her er greit. Det kosten min her er bra.
A little bit different sweeping style from Hoiberg. Haven't seen him doing that motion before. So,
Bra, bra spill.
sweeping backwards a bit.
Well, the first soft peel attempt from Howard was successful. So, again, same one.
Yep. Rent. Yep. Aldri slipp. Aldri slipp.
Winner of this game will be meeting Nicholas Sedin in the final.
Harre, harre, harre!
That game will be at 1:30, and we'll be covering that in its entirety here on CCT YouTube channel. TV2 Sumo, Norway.
And they will have a team in the finals, so that'll be exciting for all our Norwegian fans over there. Thanks for joining us, and I hope you're enjoying the game. Probably getting a little more of the communication and conversation than we're following here from the commentation booth, but
so two great, Fod Pedersen, two great soft peels there. Does the job.
it's really becoming a key shot in the game, hey?
The problem becomes later on when you're starting to peel center guards with all those rocks laying on the side.
Yeah, trying to get a
Trying
rough
to
room around them.
navigate through
Yeah.
without jamming on them. Well, Hoiberg was sweeping on the left side. That's probably why he was sweeping backwards. It was probably not his strong side.
Tip for all those juniors out there, if you are developing your sweeping skills, learn to sweep on both sides.
Yeah.
As early and as young as possible so that you have all the opportunity to switch it up when you need to. You never know when you get an injury or somebody in your team does, and or what team you're going to play with in the future. Keep your options open and develop your skills. Two-side sweepers are, yeah, a really big asset to the game. And everybody does have a favorite. But, like all skills, you need to develop and take the chance to do that, guys. And girls.
Den fikk bra kurve, da, så jeg tenker samme is og Seile la han gå litt.
How many years has the Baden Masters ran here, Armin?
En kvart stein mindre her.
It ran for a bit, and then it stopped. But I think it's about 17 years now since the first one.
Oh.
Well, this club, or about as long, a little bit longer than this club has been in existence. This used to be the curling club next door, and where the tennis is, where the bowling is in there. We used to have a 6-sheeter in there.
Okay.
And this building was about 15 years ago, so about that long.
Excellent.
Baden Masters named a little bit differently back then, but started by Joe Valchley, who's part of the Champions Tour organization.
Yeah, it puts a lot of time and effort together with you and the committees. So.
He spends more time in the background, of course, but
Yeah.
very important key factor in the development over the last 15 years of the Champions Tour.
Yeah, so Joe, thank you for all your time too.
Yeah, well,
So,
that's many,
Wallsted's got some stones in play.
many times Joe's kept us going.
Whoa! Yep, 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 yep!
He's always comes to the events with a positive energy. He was here this weekend as well.
Åtte.
I think the red one is sitting shot stone. So it's going to decide what he's going to do here.
Okay.
It's gonna-
50-50 egentlig.
Det er veldig likt. Vanskelig å si hvem som er slått. Gale. Like det. Nei, rett foran den gule.
He's got a steal. He has to take some advantage in the forefoot. Thomas still has that open.
2,5 er bra. Linja er bra. Ok. Magnus nærmest. Bra det. Bra spill.
Just trying to get anything into play here.
Yeah.
As we can see, the soft peel rocks, you know, when you're trying to remove these guards now, the rocks that have been soft peeled that are laying on the side
Yeah.
now become a factor. Trying to navigate your peel, your takeouts through them without jamming on something.
And putting something else into play.
Yeah, and we've seen jams that have actually come off those guards and rolled directly to the pin. Well, that's a kicker.
Hard! Hard! Hard!
And that's the kind of, if that hits that a little thicker,
Yeah.
it's on the button.
And that was a bonus rock for.
Yep, removing that just gives them
Yeah.
more space later on. And this is what we're talking about. If that just gets that a little bit thinner, it's coming off that.
And rolling in behind the
and
yellows.
it's
Yeah.
just rolling where you don't want it.
Gjerne samme sted. Må køle litt mer. Nei, vi har. Ok. Begge to går for å dra den innover, da.
Bare gå. Hardt, 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 hardt,
Må
hardt,
køle.
hardt.
Hard, hard, hard.
So let's bring up another center guard.
Langt opp foran.
Really committed to get something going, to get a steal for one. Staying very patient. And that patience is going to be key in creating an opportunity here. Winner of this only has to score one. You don't need multiple points.
Er du sikker på det? Er det ikke veldig vanskelig å komme seg rundt der for han etterpå?
Jo, det er kanskje det.
Og hvis han kommer seg
This
rundt
is a
der, så må
semifinal.
Gi meg halve, det vil være plukken. Må jeg plukke? Ja, enig.
vi kan plukke den.
Extra end of play.
Rent. Rent. Ligger bra. Rent.
Now he's committed to just clearing him off. Yes, Olsrud, Norway.
More space this time to clear that.
Magnus sin sto og stang her, men vi må være forsiktige i starten.
Olsted's going to go in now, I think.
Også her i
Gonna
stad.
try and bury one in behind those
Men
Yellowstones.
for å få kurven så tror jeg vi må ha is der. Også være forsiktige med.
Men det går merkelse i starten, da.
So just the difference between winning and losing this game is automatically at least 4,000 francs,
Hvis dere må gå, så
That
gå.
pays another tournament.
with an opportunity to earn 7,000
Yeah.
more. And as most of these teams are amateur, that sure helps your expenses. Paying for those expensive coaches out there.
Yeah,
Plass.
Føltes lang nok.
just paying for your travel expenses, an opportunity to participate at these events. And,
Må køl.
It's amazing how much travel these teams
Det
do
er greit, må køle.
9 er greit da med en linje her. 9
all around the world,
Hit. Jopp,
paying
jopp.
much of it out of their own pockets.
Ja, bare gå. Hard, 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 helt til stoppe. Hard, hard,
some
hard,
teams
hard.
have some countries have some pretty good funding programs, but
Doesn't cover everything.
No.
So individual sponsoring is always welcome, and
Linja.
of course, if
yeah,
you're playing
essential to be successful. That's for sure.
playing well for a lot of those teams, winning some money at one event is often paying for the entry to the next event.
And as you can see on the uniforms, great opportunity for sponsorship. The Champions Tour YouTube channel and all the television opportunities, and lots of fans here. Great exposure from these teams, and curling community is always very committed to support sponsors and get out and join a team.
Well, we see that Olsrud has got a fair amount of sponsoring on there, but if I'm looking at Wallstatt, it's quite. There's room for more. So we're down to the last rock for Team Wallstatt.
Have to make this one really well. I'd be looking to bury it around.
I den halvstangen hindres.
Force Thomas into a more difficult shot.
You These teams will be back on the ice in about an hour and a half for one of these teams for sure. To play the final against Nicholas Edin.
They played in 3-4 game here?
No, I don't think so.
Yep. Hard!
Hard linje!
No, the tour event in Basel, the 3-4 game will be played. Oh. Couldn't really have swept that much earlier anyway. A little bit heavy.
Yeah, it's a little bit warm.
Had they swept that to get that by, it was probably going out the back door and would have handshakes already. This at least makes Thomas have to throw. He does have to remove this redstone from play. It is in scoring position.
It is open, and we can see it here.
So he's forced a shot.
Last rock here in the semifinal, the Baden Masters. One semifinal already complete. Nicholas Edin, they've been on the ice for about an hour already, waiting patiently to see the winner of this game. Oldsrud has it in his hands. Just needs to remove that red one from play. Doesn't even need to stay in the house. He's got a counter in the top. So just needs to make this red one disappear. And that'll put him in for the umpteenth time into the final of the Baden Masters. And this is looking good. Players just clean. And there you go. With a score of 1. Here in the extra end, Thomas Oldsrud defeats countryman Stefan Wallstadt, who've had a great weekend here. Starting off where they left off last year. Very successful semi-final finish at the Baden Masters. Thank you very much, Sherry.
It's been great, Armin, and I wish you great success with the tour this season and all the growth and development. And we'll work hard and hope to see you again soon.
We will. Okay, and 1:30 approximately Central European time. We'll be on with the final, and wow, Edin Oldsrud. What can you say?
It'll be a cracker. So come on out and catch that game, everybody. If you can't get down to the rink and Baden live, turn on your TV screens and enjoy what's going to be one of the best games of the season. Already starting in the first tour event.
All right, thanks.
Cheers.
See you soon.